Imagine walking through a quiet hallway. The lights flicker, the air turns ice cold, and you hear footsteps behind you, but no one is there. Across Australia, there are places so haunted that even the bravest visitors refuse to return. From ghost-filled prisons to cursed hotels and eerie tunnels echoing with voices from the past. These chilling locations are wrapped in mystery, tragedy, and real paranormal encounters. These aren't just ghost stories. They're true tales of terror that will stay with you long after the sun goes down. Are you brave enough to uncover Australia's darkest secrets? If you love true ghost stories and spine-chilling mysteries, don't forget to subscribe my channel for more haunted tales. Hit that subscribe button, if you dare, to explore the darkest corners of Australia and beyond. Story number 1: Monte Cristo Homestead. Monte Cristo Homestead is one of the most famous haunted houses in Australia. It is located in the small town of Junee in New South Wales. Built in 1885, this grand two-story house has a long history of strange and scary events. The homestead was the home of the Crawley family for many years. Over time, many people have reported seeing ghosts and feeling an eerie presence inside the house. The story of the hauntings began after the death of Mrs. Elizabeth Crawley. She was known to be a strict and cold woman who rarely left the house after her husband died. Visitors believe her spirit still walks the halls of Monte Cristo. People have seen her ghost in the windows and felt cold spots near her old bedroom. Some even say they hear her voice whispering when no one is around. Several tragic events happened in the house. A stable boy was burned to death in the stables. A maid is believed to have fallen or been pushed from a balcony. A mentally ill man was kept in chains in a small room for years before being taken to an asylum where he died. These stories add to the mystery and fear that surrounds the place. The Ryan family bought Monte Cristo in the 1960s and turned it into a museum. They also reported many strange happenings. Lights would turn on and off by themselves, strange noises echoed through the halls, and people felt as if they were being watched. Some visitors have even fainted or left in fear, refusing to return. Today, Monte Cristo Homestead is open for ghost tours and overnight stays. Many people visit hoping to see something paranormal. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the stories and atmosphere of this old house are hard to ignore. The house still stands as a quiet, spooky reminder of Australia's haunted past. Story number 2: Fremantle Arts Centre. The Fremantle Arts Centre is located in Fremantle, Western Australia. It is a beautiful old building made of limestone, built in the 1860s. But behind its beauty is a dark and sad history. Originally, it was a lunatic asylum for the mentally ill. Back then, people did not understand mental illness well, and the treatment of patients was often cruel and painful. Many people suffered and died inside the walls of this building. Over the years, the building was used for many purposes. It became a women's home, a Navy base during World War II, and later an arts center. But even after all these changes, many people say that the ghosts of the past never left. Staff and visitors have reported strange things happening, especially at night. Some say they feel a cold breeze in warm rooms. Others have heard footsteps in empty hallways or doors slamming shut on their own. There are stories of a woman dressed in white who appears near the staircases, then vanishes without a trace. Some people believe she was a patient at the asylum who died there many years ago. Others have seen shadowy figures or heard crying and whispers, even when no one else is around. These events have been shared by many different people, which makes the stories even more chilling. The Fremantle Arts Centre is still active today. It hosts concerts, art exhibitions, and community events. But the stories of hauntings continue. Tour guides and workers sometimes refuse to enter certain rooms alone. Ghost hunters and paranormal investigators have also visited the site and claim to have recorded strange voices and unexplained movements. Even though it's now a place of art and creativity, the past of the Fremantle Arts Centre cannot be forgotten. The building's long and painful history seems to have left behind a spiritual trace. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, many people who visit the center agree that it has an unsettling feeling, like the past is still watching. Story number 3: Airedale Asylum. Airedale Asylum is one of the largest and oldest mental hospitals in Australia. It is located in Ararat, Victoria, and was opened in 1867. The asylum was built to house people with mental illnesses, and over the years, more than 13,000 people died there. The building is very big and has over 60 buildings spread across many acres. For more than 130 years, it was used to treat patients, many of whom lived there until they died. Life inside Airedale Asylum was often very hard and sad. In the early days, treatments for mental illness were not very kind. Patients were sometimes locked away, given electric shock therapy, or even operated on without proper care. Some patients were sent there for reasons that would not be considered mental illness today. Women who were too emotional or people who had no family support were sometimes sent to live there for life. Many people died alone and in pain. Today, people believe the spirits of these patients still remain. Visitors and staff have said they hear strange sounds like crying, footsteps, or whispers in empty rooms. Some have seen doors open and close by themselves or lights flicker when no one is around. Others have said they felt sudden cold spots or had the feeling that someone was watching them. One of the most haunted places in Airedale is the surgery room, where people claim to hear screams or see ghostly figures. The asylum was finally closed in the 1990s, but the buildings are still standing. Today, people can visit Airedale through guided ghost tours. These tours take people into the old hospital at night, and many visitors have reported strange things happening during the tour. Some have even left early because they were too scared to continue. Airedale Asylum is not just a haunted place. It's also a reminder of how mental health care used to be. The building holds many sad and painful memories, and some people believe the spirits of those who died there have never moved on. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the asylum has a heavy and eerie feeling that makes many people uneasy as soon as they walk inside. Story number 4. Port Arthur Historic Site. The Port Arthur Historic Site is one of the most haunted places in Australia. It is located in Tasmania and was once a prison for some of the worst criminals in the 1800s. The prison was built in 1830 and was used for many years. Life at Port Arthur was very hard. Prisoners were kept in small, cold cells. They had to work for long hours doing heavy labor, like cutting wood or building. Many prisoners were punished badly, and some were kept alone in silence for days or even weeks. Over time, many people died in Port Arthur. Some died from sickness, accidents, or harsh punishment. There is even an old graveyard on the Isle of the Dead, a small island nearby where prisoners and staff were buried. Because of the suffering and death that happened here, many believe that spirits of the past still remain. Visitors have reported hearing strange voices, footsteps, and crying sounds when no one else is around. Some say they have seen ghostly figures walking through the prison ruins. One of the most haunted buildings at Port Arthur is the separate prison. This place was used to break the minds of prisoners by keeping them in total silence and isolation. People who visit this area often feel uneasy or very cold even when the weather is warm. Some visitors say they feel like someone is standing behind them, but no one is there. Another place where people feel strange things is the old church, which was never finished. People say they have seen shadows moving inside it, even though it is empty. Tour guides have also shared their own ghost stories, saying lights turn on by themselves or they hear sounds in locked rooms. Today, Port Arthur is a historic site open to the public. Many people visit to learn about Australia's prison history, but others come for the ghost tours that happen at night. These tours take visitors through the ruins and tell the scary stories of what happened there. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, it is hard to ignore the heavy feeling in the air. Port Arthur is not just a beautiful old site, it holds the memory of many sad and painful lives that never found peace. Story number 5. Beechworth Lunatic Asylum. Beechworth Lunatic Asylum is one of the most haunted places in Australia. It is located in Beechworth, Victoria, and was used as a mental hospital from 1867 to 1995. For over 128 years, thousands of people were treated there, and more than 3,000 are believed to have died inside the asylum. In the early days, many people were sent there not just for mental illness but for things that wouldn't be seen as problems today, like depression, grief, or even just behaving differently. Life in the asylum was very hard. Patients were sometimes treated with harsh methods like electric shocks or isolation. Many were kept in locked rooms or tied down if they acted out. The building itself is large and cold, with long hallways and dark rooms. Some people who were sent there never left and were forgotten by their families. Staff also lived and worked there for many years, and some believe their spirits may also remain. Many people believe Beechworth is haunted because of all the pain and sadness that happened there. Visitors and tour guides have reported seeing ghosts, hearing voices, and feeling cold spots. Some say they have seen a woman in a hospital gown walking through the hallways. Others have heard doors slam or footsteps when no one else is around. There are also reports of lights turning on and off by themselves. One of the most famous ghost stories is about Matron Sharp, a kind nurse who cared for many patients. Some people say her spirit still walks the halls, making sure the building is safe. There's also a story of a man who jumped out of a window and died. People say they can still hear his cries at night. Today, the asylum is no longer used as a hospital. It is open to the public for historical and ghost tours. People come from all over Australia to see the old buildings and learn about its dark past. The night tours are especially popular with those hoping to experience something paranormal. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, Beechworth Lunatic Asylum is a place filled with real history and many sad stories that are hard to forget. Story number 6. The Princess Theatre, Melbourne. The Princess Theatre is a very old and famous theatre in Melbourne, Victoria. It first opened in 1854 and was rebuilt in 1886. It is known for its beautiful design and grand performances. Many famous shows and plays have been performed there over the years. But the theatre is also known for something else. It is said to be haunted by a friendly ghost named Frederick Federici. Frederick Federici was an opera singer who died in the theatre in 1888. He was playing the role of a devil in a play called Faust. At the end of the show, he was supposed to disappear through a trapdoor on the stage and fall into hell as part of the act. He did the scene perfectly, but right after that, he collapsed under the stage and died from a heart attack. What's strange is that the other actors and people in the audience said they saw him standing on stage after the trapdoor scene, smiling and bowing. They did not know he had died until later. Since then, many people believe his ghost has never left the Princess Theatre. Staff, actors, and visitors have reported seeing a man in old-fashioned clothes sitting in the dress circle or walking backstage. Sometimes, they feel a cold breeze or hear strange footsteps when no one is there. The ghost is not known to be scary or harmful. In fact, people believe that he brings good luck to the shows. Some say that if you see Federici before a performance, the show will be a big success. The theater has kept his memory alive. A seat is even left empty in the dress circle on opening night as a sign of respect for him. Ghost tours are sometimes held there, and many people go hoping to see something unusual. The Princess Theatre is still used today and continues to be one of the most popular theatres in Melbourne. It is a place where history, art, and ghost stories all come together. Whether you believe in spirits or not, the story of Frederick Federici adds mystery and charm to this beautiful and historic building. Story number 7. Old Melbourne Jail. The Old Melbourne Jail is one of the most famous and haunted places in Australia. It is located in Melbourne, Victoria, and was used as a prison from 1845 to 1929. During that time, it held some of the country's most dangerous criminals as well as many people who were poor, sick, or mentally unwell. Over 130 people were executed there by hanging, including the famous bushranger Ned Kelly in 1880. The prison was known for being cold, dark, and very harsh. The stone walls and tiny cells made life inside very difficult. Prisoners were often locked up for 23 hours a day with very little food or human contact. Many of them suffered terribly and some died in their cells. The conditions were so bad that people believe the pain and sadness stayed behind even after the prison closed. Today, many visitors and staff believe the Old Melbourne Jail is haunted. People have reported hearing strange sounds like footsteps, whispers, and crying when no one is there. Some say they feel sudden cold spots or a heavy feeling like someone is standing close to them. A few visitors have even said they saw shadowy figures or felt touched by something unseen. One of the most haunted areas is the execution wing. This is where people were hanged and many believe their spirits still remain. Some people have seen the ghost of Ned Kelly, especially near the area where he spent his last days. Others talk about the spirit of a woman who was wrongly accused of murder and was hanged at the prison. Her ghost is said to cry and walk the halls at night. The jail is now a museum and a popular tourist attraction. People can walk through the old prison cells, see the gallows, and learn about its dark history. There are also night tours and ghost hunts for those who want to explore the spooky side of the prison. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the Old Melbourne Jail has a deep and emotional history. The stories of pain, punishment, and death still echo through its halls, making it one of the most chilling places in Australia. Story number 8. Maitland Jail. Maitland Jail is a historic prison located in New South Wales, Australia. It opened in 1848 and was used for almost 150 years before closing in 1998. During that time, it held some of the most dangerous criminals in the country. The prison was known for being very strict and tough. Many inmates spent years inside its cold stone walls, locked in small cells with little contact with the outside world. The jail had a dark and violent history. Several prisoners were executed here, and many more died from illness, suicide, or fights. Conditions were harsh, and life inside was full of fear and suffering. Some prisoners were kept in isolation for long periods, and others were punished with heavy labor. The pain and fear from those years have left a strong mark on the building, which many believe is now haunted. After the prison closed, it was turned into a museum and opened to the public. People who visit often report strange experiences. Some hear footsteps when no one is there, doors slamming shut by themselves, or whispers in empty hallways. Others feel cold spots or the sense that someone is watching them. Some visitors have even seen ghostly figures moving through the old cells and corridors. One of the most haunted areas is the solitary confinement block, where prisoners were kept alone for days or even weeks. Visitors often say they feel very uncomfortable there. Another spooky place is the execution yard, where hangings took place in the early years of the prison. People believe the spirits of those who died still remain in those areas. Maitland Jail offers ghost tours and overnight stays for people who are brave enough. These tours share real stories from the prison's past and allow guests to explore the most haunted parts of the building. Paranormal investigators have visited the jail and claim to have found signs of ghost activity, such as strange voices, unexplained lights, and movement. Even though the prison is no longer in use, the stories and energy of its past remain strong. Maitland Jail is a place full of real history, sadness, and mystery. Whether you go for the history or the ghosts, it's an experience that many people never forget. Story number 9. National Film and Sound Archive, Canberra. The National Film and Sound Archive, NFSA, is located in Canberra, Australia. It holds a large collection of films, television programs, radio shows, and sound recordings that are important to Australia's history. But many people believe the building itself is haunted. The archive is inside a very old building that was once used as the Australian Institute of Anatomy. In the past, it held human body parts, skeletons, and medical research material. This strange and serious history is one reason people think the place might be haunted. Before the building became a film archive, it was filled with body specimens and scientific equipment. There were even mummified remains and body parts kept in jars. When the NFSA moved in, many of these were removed, but some people believe the building still carries the energy of what happened there. Staff members and visitors have reported many strange experiences over the years. Some have seen ghostly figures, while others have felt sudden cold spots or a strange presence around them. One of the most well-known ghost stories from the NFSA is about a ghost known as the Lady in White. People say they have seen a woman dressed in old-fashioned white clothing walking through the hallways, then disappearing into thin air. Some also hear footsteps in empty rooms or strange tapping sounds coming from the walls. Others say they have seen doors open and close by themselves or felt someone touch them when no one was near. Staff members working late at night have reported lights flickering and hearing voices when the building was empty. Security guards have also seen movement on cameras, but when they check, there is nothing there. Some people believe that the ghosts are not angry, but are just lost spirits from the building's old days. Today, the NFSA is a peaceful place used to protect and share Australia's film and sound history. It holds events, exhibitions, and screenings, but the stories of ghosts still remain. Paranormal investigators have visited and believe there is real spiritual activity inside the building. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, the history of the building and the strange experiences of many people make the NFSA one of the most mysterious places in Australia. Story number 10. Quarantine Station, North Head. The quarantine station at North Head, near Sydney, is one of the most haunted places in Australia. It was used from the 1830s to the 1980s to keep sick passengers away from the city when they arrived by ship. People who had diseases like smallpox, Spanish flu, and the plague were sent to this station to stop the sickness from spreading. Many of them died there far from their families, and some were buried on the site. Because of this long and sad history, many people believe the station is haunted. The quarantine station has many old buildings, including hospital rooms, morgues, and sleeping quarters. These buildings are still standing and are now part of a museum and hotel. Over the years, staff, guests, and visitors have reported strange things happening. People say they feel cold spots, hear whispers, or feel like someone is watching them. Some have seen ghostly figures walking through the halls or standing by windows. Others have heard crying or coughing sounds even when the rooms are empty. One of the most haunted places at the station is the hospital area where many people died. Visitors often say they feel sick or dizzy there for no reason. There's also a building called the Gravedigger's Cottage where ghost sightings are common. Some guests have said they saw doors open and close by themselves or heard footsteps at night. There's also a room in the old hospital where people feel a heavy, sad energy, and some even feel like they can't breathe properly. Ghost tours are now offered at the quarantine station. These tours take people through the most haunted spots and tell the real stories of the people who were once kept there. Some people go just for the history while others hope to see a ghost. Paranormal investigators have also visited and claimed to have found signs of ghost activity like strange sounds and shadows. Today, the quarantine station is part of Sydney Harbour National Park. It's a peaceful place during the day with beautiful views and lots of wildlife. But its past still lingers. The stories of loss, fear, and death have stayed with the buildings, and many people believe the spirits of those who died there have never left. Story number 11. The Old Adelaide Jail. The Old Adelaide Jail is one of the oldest prisons in South Australia. It was built in 1841 and used for over 140 years before closing in 1988. During that time, more than 300,000 prisoners passed through its gates. The prison was known for its tough conditions and strict rules. It also has a dark past. 45 people were executed there, and many more died inside the prison from illness, violence, or old age. The jail is made of thick stone walls, narrow hallways, and small, cold cells. Life inside was very hard. Prisoners had very little contact with the outside world and often spent hours alone. Executions were carried out by hanging, and some of the gallows still remain today. The stories of pain, punishment, and death have led many to believe that the prison is haunted. Over the years, many people who visited or worked at the jail have reported strange things. Some say they heard footsteps in empty halls or voices whispering in the dark. Others have seen doors open and close on their own or felt sudden cold spots. A few have even claimed to see ghostly figures of past prisoners or guards. One popular story is about a ghost named Governor Ashton who was once in charge of the prison. People say his spirit still walks through the governor's office and nearby hallways. Another well-known ghost is that of a man who was wrongly executed. Visitors say they can feel his anger and sadness in the execution area. Some people have felt dizzy or scared in certain parts of the prison even though nothing visible is there. Paranormal groups have investigated the jail and believe it has strong ghost activity. Today, the Old Adelaide Jail is a museum and a popular tourist site. Visitors can explore the cells, execution yards, and tunnels. There are also ghost tours at night for those interested in the spooky side of history. The jail is no longer used as a prison, but its dark past is still felt by many who walk through its gates. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, the stories and atmosphere of the Old Adelaide Jail make it a chilling place to visit. Story number 12. Bago Road Jail, Brisbane. Bago Road Jail is one of the most well-known and haunted prisons in Australia. It is located in Brisbane, Queensland, and was first opened in 1883. For over 100 years, it held thousands of prisoners, including some of the most dangerous criminals in the country. Life inside the prison was very tough. The cells were small, dark, and very hot in the summer. Prisoners were given little food and many were punished harshly. The prison was divided into sections, with number 2 division being the most famous. This part of the prison is still standing today and is where most of the ghost stories come from. Over the years, many prisoners died at Bago Road Jail, some from illness, others from violence, and several from execution. The last hanging took place there in 1913, but the memories of those deaths remain. After the prison closed in 1992, it was turned into a museum. Since then, staff, visitors, and ghost tour guides have reported strange experiences. People have said they heard footsteps, loud bangs, and whispers in empty hallways. Some say they felt sudden cold spots even on hot days. Others believe they saw shadowy figures or felt like someone was standing behind them when no one was there. One of the most famous ghosts is believed to be that of a prisoner named Ernest Austin. He was the last person to be hanged in Queensland and is said to haunt the cell blocks and gallows. Visitors have reported hearing a man crying or laughing in the night, and some have felt sick or dizzy in the area where he died. There are also stories about guards who died or suffered during their time at the prison and whose spirits may still be there. Today, Bago Road Jail offers guided tours that share real stories from its past. There are also nighttime ghost tours for people who want to experience the spooky side of the old jail. Some visitors go for the history while others hope to see or feel something paranormal. Bago Road Jail is no longer a place of punishment, but its dark and painful history is still very strong. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, the stories and atmosphere of the prison are enough to give anyone chills. Story number 13. North Kapunda Hotel. The North Kapunda Hotel is one of the most haunted places in Australia. It is located in Kapunda, South Australia, and has a long and dark history. The hotel was built in the 1800s during the time when Kapunda was a busy mining town. It was a popular place for miners, travelers, and townspeople to stay, eat, and drink. But over the years, many terrible things happened there, and people believe the spirits of the past have never left. The hotel has been linked to crime, death, and even murder. It is said that there was a brothel upstairs, and some of the women who worked there were treated very badly. One of the most famous ghost stories is about a woman named Sarah. She was a worker at the hotel and was believed to have been murdered by a local man. People say her ghost still roams the halls, crying and looking for help. Guests and staff have reported seeing a woman in an old dress standing at the top of the stairs or walking through the hallway. Another scary story is about a man called the Angry Man, or the Dark Figure. He is believed to be a violent spirit that appears in the bar or basement. People who see him say they feel very scared or even sick. Some have heard growling sounds or felt pushed when no one was near. Lights flicker, doors slam, and strange noises are often heard throughout the hotel, especially at night. The North Kapunda Hotel has become a popular spot for ghost hunters and tourists. Ghost tours are held regularly, and many visitors have said they experienced something strange. Paranormal investigators have also visited and recorded strange voices and unexplained movements. Some believe the building holds a lot of emotional energy from the past, which is why spirits may still be there. Today, the hotel still operates as a bar and restaurant, but it also welcomes those curious about the paranormal. The stories of ghosts, sadness, and past violence have made it one of the most talked about haunted locations in the country. Whether people go for a drink, a meal, or a ghost tour, they often leave with an unforgettable experience. Story number 14. The Rocks, Sydney. The Rocks is one of the oldest areas in Sydney, Australia. It is located near the Sydney Harbour and is known for its narrow streets, old stone buildings, and rich history. In the early 1800s, the Rocks was home to convicts, sailors, and poor families. Life was very hard back then, and the area was filled with crime, sickness, and death. Because of this dark past, many people believe the Rocks is haunted by the spirits of those who once lived there. Over the years, there have been many reports of strange and ghostly activity in the Rocks. People have said they saw shadowy figures walking down empty streets or disappearing through walls. Some have felt cold spots, heard whispers, or seen lights flicker with no reason. One common story is about a young girl who died during a smallpox outbreak in the 1800s. People say her ghost is still seen near the place where she once lived, crying softly or calling for her mother. There are also stories about haunted pubs and houses. Some buildings were once used as hospitals or morgues, and people believe the spirits of those who died there are still around. One well-known place is the Russell Hotel, where guests have reported hearing footsteps at night, even when no one else is staying in the building. Others say they have seen a man in old-fashioned clothes standing near their bed and then vanishing into thin air. Ghost tours are very popular in the Rocks. These tours take people through the most haunted parts of the area and share true stories from the past. Tour guides talk about murders, lost souls, and sad deaths that may have left spirits behind. Paranormal investigators have also visited the Rocks and believe there is real ghost activity in the area. They have used special equipment to record strange sounds and movements. Even during the day, the Rocks has an old, mysterious feeling. The mix of history, tragedy, and unexplained events makes it one of the spookiest places in Sydney. Whether you visit to learn about history or to search for ghosts, the Rocks offers a chilling experience that many people never forget. Story number 15. Picton Tunnel, Redbank Range Tunnel. Picton Tunnel, also known as the Redbank Range Tunnel, is one of the most haunted places in Australia. It is located in Picton, a small town in New South Wales. The tunnel was built in the 1800s and was originally used for trains. It is about 592 feet, 180 meters long and made of dark stone, which gives it a spooky look, especially at night. Although it is no longer used for trains, it still stands today and is known for its ghost stories and eerie atmosphere. One of the most famous ghost stories linked to the tunnel is about a young girl named Emily Ballard. She died in the tunnel in the early 1900s after being hit by a train. Some people believe she was walking through the tunnel and didn't hear the train coming. Others say she may have been trying to take her own life. Her death was sudden and very sad. Many visitors say they have seen her ghost in the tunnel, often described as a figure in white. Some say they hear a girl's voice or feel a sudden rush of cold air. Over the years, many people have visited Picton Tunnel hoping to see or hear something strange. Locals and tourists have reported feeling watched, hearing whispers, and even seeing ghostly figures. Some people say their phones or cameras stop working when they enter the tunnel, and others have felt very dizzy or scared for no reason. Paranormal investigators have also visited the site and claimed to pick up strange sounds and movements that they couldn't explain. The tunnel has also been the site of ghost tours and paranormal events. However, because of safety reasons and the spooky reputation, the local council has sometimes closed it to the public. Even so, people still go near it, especially at night, to experience the chilling feeling that many have described. Picton Tunnel may look like just an old, empty train tunnel, but its sad history and many ghost stories have made it a famous haunted place. Whether the ghost of Emily is real or not, many visitors agree that the tunnel feels cold, quiet, and full of mystery. It remains a place where the past still seems very close.